Hello, hello, hello! It's Pam Duthie again, and this is number 5 in our videos in the series of deep diving eRank, the new name for EtsyRank. And this is my number 1 favourite tool for helping us with our Etsy shop. And if you haven't already, check out the other videos in the playlist where we find out how to choose the best keywords, how to compare keywords with other keywords, maybe get some ideas there, how to check if we're ranking, and how to check out the new Keyword Explorer tool, which I didn't mention in the last video, but that one is a pro feature, so well worth the feature. Now I'm going to head on and have a look at the listings grade, which you can get to on this little button at the top right on EtsyRank.com. And this is the one that quite a lot of people don't quite understand, so I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain how I use this tool. So listings grade is really cool. It brings up all your listings, it assesses them and gives them a mark, gives them a grade from A all the way through. I've certainly seen D's, I'm not sure how far it goes, but it gives us a grade based on how it feels we've done in optimizing our listings. Now I'll rant more about this later. However, an A grade is a nice thing. It's telling us we're doing things nice. It's not telling us that we're about to get sales. But there's lots of good features in this. Now, because I'm using EtsyRank Pro, this is a paid service, some of the things will look a little bit different than if you're using the free version, but the free version still has fantastic functionality, so I totally recommend you dive in and go ahead with that. But let's have a wee look what we've got. First of all, we can filter by typing in keywords if you want to find things. It has been this grading system has been updated since Etsy's new ultimate guide to search, and I have a whole series on that if you want to check them out as well. Super important, going over what new things Etsy's talking about. Now we have tabs at the top giving us, let's click over to the summary first of all. This just gives us a summary of our listings, how many active listings, the number of views, etc. And then the grades tab that we were just on, which we will talk about even more. The details tab, again, this is a little more like what the system used to look like before, but we've got details of each of your listings, what the image looks like. You can click to go and audit your listing. It tells us your tags, images, if you've got attributes attributed to your listing, the views, when it was updated, loads and loads of information there. Missing tags button. Again, this just pulls up if you want to get in and fix your tags on some items. This one tells you the problems. It pulls up all the ones with less than the 13 tags, so you could get over. We have the quick button on Etsy to take you to Etsy to that item, so you can edit it and fix that really quickly. Exactly the same with missing images. It's only telling you, although with images we can have up to 10, it's not always necessary to have a whole load of images. For instance, here I've got some digital drawings. Sometimes you don't need more than a couple of images. So if it's telling you that it's less than 5 images, if you've got more than 5, it won't complain about you having less than 10, but less than 5, it's suggesting you might want to get in and fix that. And missing attributes, which I'm pretty bad at there, as you can see. I've got quite a lot to fix with that. But get back to the most important page is the grades tab. Most important because it's what we're talking about. So what have we got here? Your listings are ranked at the minute. They're ranked in order of goodness. The A grades are sitting at the top, all the way down B, C, D. And then we have just the image that your shoppers are going to see and your title. You can go to the individual listing, which we'll do shortly, by clicking on the listing audit. You can see the title, you can get to the item there as well. We have when it was last updated, SEO suggestions, let's hover. eRank may have spotted a way to improve your listings. Click on the number to review the suggestions, which we'll see when we go into the review. Conversion rate, this is the estimated conversion conversion rate is a percentage of the views that result in a sale. It's calculated by dividing the total number of sales by the number of views in the listings since it was created and multiplying it by 100. Visibility score is a measurement of how well your listing's daily views compare to listings of thousands of other Etsy shops. And then we have views is the total number of views of this listing since it was created. Tags is the number of tags. And images. Images help buyers to get a feel for your product. Etsy recommends you use all 10 images. Now you can rank these by order of how good they're doing for certain things. So for the conversion rate, if you click on that, it starts with the ones with 0, or click it again and it goes from top down, the ones that have your highest conversion rate. Now I want to show you something here. The highest conversion rates in my shop, if we look at, it has a C grade. Now the reason for this is just an order that I made, a listing that I made for someone. It's a top-up order. I made the order, I emailed it to the person. It got a few views, but not many, because it was literally just for that one person. So they saw it and they bought it. So it looks like it has a fantastic conversion rate, but it's not exactly a fantastic listing because it was just for one person. This is not how I would generally suggest doing a listing, but I was just doing something quickly. So you can see the ones, and for example, this listing, my second highest conversion rate, again, this is one, it's only got a C grade, but it's doing reasonably well at 3% conversion rate. There are other reasons for these things rather than just how well the SEO grade is. We'll get to this in a minute. And let's have a look also at visibility score. So I click on this, starts with the lowest visibility and then click it again to the highest. So again, my highest visibility item, 98%. This means of all the listings on Etsy, this is like in the top 2%, and at 20,000 views, yeah, that's pretty good going. But if we look across, this has got a D grade. This item is doing as bad as you possibly can in terms of SEO grade. But I'm going to say this right now, super importantly. Now the grades changed to fit in with the new system that Etsy's talking about. So this used to be an A grade, but it's now a D, and I'm not going to touch it. Do not edit your listings that are doing well. Only come in and edit it once it's going rubbish. But I will just open this in a new tab so we can go over and have a look at that. But I'm not going to touch this. I'm not going to change this. It's terrible in terms of now SEO, but it's fantastic in terms of making sales, making me money, getting me spotted. So I ain't going to do a thing to that. And again, we can see with some of the others what's going on there. None of my highest visibility items at the minute have an A, and the very good reason for that is I haven't changed my best listings yet, because they're my best listings. So that gives us an idea there. So what we'll do, we'll get listings in terms of the good SEO grade as well, so we'll be able to have a look at them. So let's open up this one as well. But let's get to my rubbish item. So this is a D grade. This is as bad as you can get, supposedly. So when you click on listing audit for the item, this is where it takes you. You can pop over on Etsy to fix it. It gives you lots of information. You can also refresh it. Once you've changed it on Etsy, you can refresh and get your new grade. Now, like I said, although this is a bad listing in terms of all the recommendations, it's a good listing from my shop at the minute, so I'm just going to live with that D. So EtsyRank has 3 suggestions, 3 important suggestions. This recommended ones are the ones that you really want to do something about to get your grade up, and the suggestions are good things, but they're not necessarily massively going to impact. Let's hover over the question mark. So SEO grade. eRank grades your listings based on how well we feel your listings follow Etsy's best practices. Grades range from an A to an E. There we go, it goes as far as an E. A high grade does not guarantee success, nor does a low grade mean your listing can't be successful. These grades are meant to help you form good SEO habits, but if your listing is already performing well, then you may choose to disregard the grade. To increase your grade on eRank, you may wish to consider some of the recommendation suggestions in the listing audit. And then suggestions recommended. These are suggestions that we recommend you seriously consider should your listing rarely sell or you have very low views. And suggestions other. These are SEO suggestions that may also help your listing but may not be applicable to all listings. So again, eRank is telling us don't change it if it's good. These are recommendations. And I just want to get in my slight little rant here. This is something that people mistake so much. They'll go, all my listings are A's. Why am I not getting sales? Why am I not getting seen? And the thing is, this tool is just that. It's a tool, and it's just looking at your listing in terms of best practices for a listing. It's not telling you if you've chosen good keywords. It's not telling you if your pictures are good. It's not telling you if you're able to rank for the keywords you've chosen. It's just telling you for what you've given it for this listing here. Is it following the best practices? Now, you can have the best practices in the world, but not be using a keyword that's relevant. It might be too competitive. It might not be competitive enough. You can have the best SEO practice in the world, but with a minging picture that no one wants to click on. So it's part of the tool. This grade is important to help you think like an SEO expert, but it guarantees you nothing. So it's a help, it's a tool, but don't go hanging all your hopes on getting an A grade. Just your listings that aren't doing well, it can help you with them. So suggestions, and here this listing has had some views. Check your shop stats and be careful not to remove good keywords from your listing. So basically, again, this is saying don't mess up this listing. This listing's doing okay. And if you look at my video on how to shorten titles the new way, then you'll see how I would do that, how I use my actual stats to change your title. So I could go in, not all these things here will be driving traffic for me. Some of the things I might not be ranking for because they're too competitive. Some of the things I might be ranking for, but they drive no traffic. So if something, imagine geeky gift was a keyword that there's very little competition for, it's possible I might rank for it if I just use it as a tag. I might not need it as a title. So it's important to look for all these things. However, as we've seen, this listing is doing really well, so I ain't gonna touch it. So let's look at these recommended. First of all, this looks like your title may have been written for computers, not humans. This is such important advice. If eRank can pop up a quick program to look for this thing, now Etsy is telling us it wants us to write our listings for humans. So if eRank can flag up that we've not done it, then Etsy's certainly able to look at this. And this is, it looks like a stream of keywords rather than telling us what it is. It's not as bad as some people's listings are practically just their 13 tags. But this cat bookmark, needle felted kitty half splat bookmark, hashtag Etsy gifts, cat lovers gift, geeky bookmark. So that's just trying to keyword stuff quite a bit. In the case of this listing, that works because this listing drives a lot of views. It's actually popular on Pinterest. This is what drives my views from Pinterest. So I can get away with keyword stuffing. But if you don't have a good listing, or, I mean, in time, Etsy's going to catch up with us. They're not going to like it. So when this starts crashing, I'm going to have to come in and change this. But for now, it's working. This listing contains several single word tags. Again, this is advice from Etsy and from a lot of people. I have some single word tags because I was super hard trying to focus in on some really broad search terms for this listing because it was doing so well. So this is a strategy I was working on, but it's not necessarily the best practice. But if it's working, leave it alone. But if you're in a new shop, if you don't have a lot of views, if you're building a new listing, then absolutely it's better to use multiple phrases. And also, as we can see, it's better to use a tag of custom bracelet than a tag of custom and a tag of bracelet, because if someone searches for bracelet, then it being in the tag custom bracelet is also relevant. So you don't need to do the single word tags. I was experimenting with them, I'll be perfectly honest here. And then the extra recommended thing, this listing has tags that can be found within other similar tags. So again, custom bracelet, the tag bracelet is already in there. So I have some slight redundancies here. However, again, not touching them. So the others, this description is long. This can be okay, but Etsy recommends short and informative. So again, it is a long title. So it means when you're searching for it on your computer, it's going to get cut off somewhere about here. On your phone, it's going to get cut off even more. So in some ways, I'm happy with this because wherever it gets cut off, it's saying cat bookmark. This is what it is. It is a bookmark of a cat. So it says the most important thing at the front of the title, but EtsyRank's right to bring this up to make us think about it, but it's only in the other section, so it's not actually affecting my grade. And that's what it's telling us. It may be truncated in the Etsy search if it's too long. It's not a huge problem, just as long as my most important things are at the front. And that's it. Front load your titles. This listing has spelling issues in its tags. Now, sometimes, we'll see, but not all spelling issues are spelling issues. It might just be things that eRank doesn't recognize yet, which I can teach it spelling things, but I don't need to worry about it. And yet my listing has less than 10 images. Again, this is an old listing, as we'll see in a minute, so it had the 5 images. I might add more later when I do another photo shoot, but there's not really much of a point, to be perfectly honest. There's only so many ways you can show a bookmark. And then here we have your listing statistics, which is really good to see this. Now, as you've seen in the ranking and the keyword finding parts, you can find out for certain keywords what other people's stats are like to an extent. So you could, if you know your own stats for this listing, you could maybe find a keyword that you think that you might be able to rank for based on how you compare with other people's listings. So we can see my total sales, number of times the listing has been sold since it was created, the conversion rate. So this is the estimated conversion rate, is the percentage of views that resulted in a sale. Now everything else is green, but you can see this one's red because at 0.3% this looks like a really low conversion rate. Now don't freak out about these things. If everything else is doing well, one thing might be low for a number of reasons. And in the case of this listing, as I said, this drives a lot of views from Pinterest, and this is fantastic. I'm getting a lot of views from outside Etsy, which is a good signal for Etsy. However, they're coming from Pinterest. They're not necessarily shopping. So I might get a lot of views, I might get a lot of shares, but it's not necessarily leading to a massive amount of sales. However, it's still 72 sales on one item is pretty good going. Visibility score, again, this is 98%. It's higher than most listings on the site, and that is mainly because it's driving that Pinterest traffic. It's getting about 6.5 views again, and this is the numbers, 6.5 views a day. This is the numbers I'm talking about when you're comparing yourselves to other people that rank for certain keywords. If you're driving more listings than them, then I can't even speak. If you're driving more views than them, then you have a better chance of ranking, or a good chance. That nothing's guaranteed, but you've got a good chance of ranking if you're driving some good daily views. It's a fairly old listing. This was actually made in 2010. Funny story with this, my splat bookmarks with the the paws and tail of an animal poking out the end. This was something I just had in a dream. Totally weird. I was obviously thinking about my shop too much. Had an idea for this, made it, and it's been a bestseller. Only one available. I've got to change that. That's a listing I can make more of, so I'll change that. It's obviously sold out quite a bit. And this tells us when it was last modified and when it's going to expire. So into 3rd of February already. Okay, so the title analysis, and we've got some advice here. There's little pop-ups, little advice based on your item. So it's telling us to focus on writing short, clear, descriptive titles, telling us what we can use and what we can't use, punctuation and symbols and all sorts of things. And the yellow bit here is given as an example of likely where this is going to get cut off, truncated in the Etsy search. So I'm fine with that. It gets cut off after cat bookmark, black needle felted kitty. So yeah, it's given us, it's giving buyers when they're searching enough for they'll know what they're going to get. Looks like your title's been written for computers. Again, it's warning us, and we can see this is in red. This is saying this is important, fix this. So yeah, it's telling me I've done wrong, and I completely agree with it on this listing. However, ain't touching it. And here we have green just telling us best practices for tags include 13 phrases. Each tag has a chance to match with a search. So it's just giving us some good advice for a tag analysis. Now remember, your tags are supposed to be examples, are to help you with the keywords that you found that you want to rank for. So there's quite a lot of data here, and this isn't shown for, on the free account you don't get all of this. This is for EtsyRank Pro that you get everything. And great work, Anthony. You've actually, this changes every time I look at it. It's awesome, but there's a lot of information here. So down the side we have my 13 tags that are in this item, and we've got a whole ton of information at the side here. So Etsy competition, the estimated number of Etsy listings that can be found when searching for the keyword. Etsy searches, it's the search volume in the past 12 months. And Etsy engagement is how buyers engage with the results. So it's likes, views, all the good stuff. Is it a multi-word tag? Is there a duplicate in the category? So for example, if my category was bookmarks, then do I need a tag of bookmarks? Then no. And attribute duplicate, exactly the same thing. If in my attributes I've already got one of the words, I don't necessarily need it as a tag. Similar tags, it's just like what we were saying. If I have bookmark and felt bookmark, then they're kind of similar to each other. And the good thing here is, rather than just having a red cross, it shows us what these actual tags are that it's similar to. So as we can see, black cat is similar to black cat bookmark, which is also a tag I've got here. Black cat is in that term, so it tells us it's possibly a redundant tag, possibly. And then spelling issues, this is showing us where we might have some spelling problems. So Etsy gifts is not a word when it's all rolled into one. It was a hashtag. It was actually a hashtag a couple of years ago for Christmas, but it worked quite nicely for me, so I'm leaving it there. And pet lover bookmark, well, pet lover probably shouldn't be all one word. And here we have a little bit of our goodness for SEO. Is the keyword in that tag, is it also in the start of the title? Now this is important. This is where you want your keywords that you focused in, that you want to rank for, the super important ones. Have you got them in your tags and at the start of your title? That's the best way to do good ranking for them. So we can't get everything at the start of the title, but if we can get a few ticks for the important ones, then that's good. And again, used in the description are the words that you've got in your title and your tags used in the description. Now this isn't a thing for Etsy. Etsy has said that it's not reading our description for this. However, Google does. So it's important, used somewhere in the start of your description, have the words that you want to rank for. And here again, fantastic, we have the graphs of the Etsy search data, and this is from real shoppers on Etsy. So we get an idea. This tag for the past, I think it's 18 months, let's check here, 15 months, I was close. So for the past 15 months, have people been searching for this? So if you can see little bars on it, then over the year people have been searching for it. And if it's blank, then there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of data. And you can click on this to be taken to see the trend, just the same as you can click on your tags to be taken to see the keyword analysis of that tag. So we've got to take all these things into account. Now, this is handy to see everything right here to decide if these tags you've got, yeah, okay, we've done some good stuff here. Now, if I was wanting to get this to an A grade, then I would want to get rid of as many of these things as I can, as many of these nasty crosses. So we would be looking at, I possibly don't need just the tag bookmark because it's covered in black tag bookmark, pet lovers bookmark, bookmarks there, but I'm leaving it. I'm not touching this at all, as we've said, but I'm leaving this as an individual tag because I really want to strongly say to Etsy that this is a bookmark. And the reason for this, when we have a look, the competition, there is a lot of listings for bookmark, obviously, but there's a massive amount of searches. This is a huge term. 8,000 to 9,000 is the biggest out of any of these tags here. 8,000 to 9,000 searches per month, and the engagement is super high as well. And if we look on the Etsy trends, that's got a graph that's got people searching all year round. So I'm leaving bookmark basically just to make sure I'm super telling Etsy that this is a bookmark. I want to rank for bookmark. Is it necessary? I'm not sure yet. This is something I've got to do more work on. And if we look at the other things, a lot of these tags, so like I said, geeky bookmark in the title. Do I necessarily need it in the title? If we have a look, there's only 900 in a competition. It's small search. There's possibly none. We're not seeing anything here. It's got some reasonably good engagement, but is this a term that I would really need in the title? Is it so difficult to rank for? And is it really worth using up that precious space in my title? If I took that out of my title, then I would be putting more of my ranking power on the things that I want to rank for, which is basically, if we're looking at this, the most important things is Black Cat Bookmark. I could literally take my title down to Black Cat Bookmark, and that could be the most important thing, because that still gives us a few tags. But anyway, so there we go. We're looking at bookmark. We're going to keep that the same. Black Cat, this has got high competition, but really high searches. Again, on the Etsy trend, it's searched for all the time. It's high engagement. So Black Cat is a pretty good tag. And also it's nested in Black Cat Bookmark. It's also possibly a tag, but it's something that we can rank for. There doesn't seem much search terms, but we could just leave the tag Black Cat Bookmark and have Black Cat and Cat Bookmark already covered by that long tail tag. But again, I'm going to leave Black Cat because yeah, it's a good tag, and just leaving it here lets me see it on this page, lets me see everything at a glance. If I just left Black Cat Bookmark, then I wouldn't know that Black Cat was such a good term. So yeah, I could take it out if I wanted an A, but actually I'm pretty happy with that. But overall, if we can look, there's a lot of green ticks here. It's doing pretty good. If I was just looking to optimize it and make it even better, decide if some of these terms, are they even worth it? Certainly, possibly not worth it in the title or at the start of the title. But some of them, like Nerdy Bookmark, has a small amount of search history, so I maybe want to rank for that. Handmade Bookmark again has a small amount of history, so just deciding if I can rank for it, is it going to be worth the effort? Will I get enough people noticing me? But there you've got a load of tags, so just deciding what are your important things. Again, we've got red warnings here. The listing contains several single word tags, better to use multiple phrases, and the listings have tags that can be found in other similar tags. These red things are telling us this is things that are preventing my listing from being an A grade. And then an amber has some spelling issues. So correct the spelling issues can look better for buyers. Again, attributes, what are your colors? It's telling us what that is here, telling us where we are in categories. Description, is it long enough? Is it good enough? If you've got greens, you're doing okay for this. So my description length is nearly 2,000 characters. It's happy enough with that. Remember when you're writing a description as well to think like your titles. Front load it with your important keywords for Google, but also front load it. Put the important stuff in at the start. It's very few people that are going to read lots and lots of paragraphs on something. So start telling them what it is, what it's for, and then your next paragraph, what it's made of, how it's made, the colours, all the important stuff. And then later on you can add interesting things that you feel someone who's really interested in. Like if there's a story behind how you made it. If there's, for instance, if you make certain animals, if you want to explain a little bit about the animal. I've seen shops that make beautiful rare birds, so if you want to give a little blurb about the birds, do that later down so people who are interested can see it. And again, you get a chance to see what your description looks like. Now it's saying it is a bit long, and absolutely it is. I could probably cut that down. Yeah, I can probably work on that. And here we're seeing the images. Now I've only got 5, but I'm happy enough with that. Processing time, it's happy with this. And then you get a wee preview of what someone's going to see on Etsy. So cat bookmark, black needle felted, you can see where it's cut off, my shop name, the price and the picture. And your preview on Google, so it's showing you where it's all cut off. That's pretty good. It gets as far as my shop name. And it shows us how much of the description. So I really should go in and optimize this description so that it looks better for people reading it on Google. And we even have a little hashtag generator. So this is an example here of an item that is doing well in my shop, so I'm not going to touch, but it gets a bad grade. So let's go over and have a look at an A graded listing. So you can see to get an A grade for my listing, it has 0 suggestions, but quite a lot of other suggestions. None of the recommended, but 6 others. And it's saying it has some views, so again, don't go changing it, but here's some things. So the others, it's saying the title, sorry, the description is long. Fair enough, some people might not like it too long, but it's not something that's going to hurt my listing. The title might be cut off. Yep, it's hard to get it so it won't be cut off at all. But a custom needle felted dog, I think that tells people what it is. Some spelling issues, it has no attributes, so this is things that I forgot to add to it, but it's not hurting the grade. Less than 10 listings still, and a long processing time. Again, this one has to, because it's customized, I make it personal. So this actual listing has 0 sales. Interesting. So you can see I've got an A grade with 0 sales. So if it's got 0 sales, it's got no conversion rate. Visibility, it's doing okay, sort of in the top 55%. It's getting some views, not a whole lot, but we've got bits of details here. It's 192 views and 19 hearts. So although this is doing well, I could possibly do some work on this listing. Again, we can see where it's likely to get cut off. The spelling issues, now again here, it's a relatively old issue. So I've got, these are 2 teams, because in the past people would search within their team. I don't know if it happens so much, but there's a couple of team tags, so that's where my spelling issues are. So it's not a spelling mistake, that's just the name of the teams. That's Etsy for Animals and Needle Felted Etsy Street Team. And just like the others, we get a view which are good tags. Am I optimized for them? So as we can see, personalized dog was something I was aiming for here. But actually it doesn't get a whole lot of searches, but I know from my listings that I do quite well. I drive quite a lot of traffic from it, so it does have some search history. So I've optimized for that. Personalized dog is somewhere in the start of my title and it's used in my description. So just making sure that my most important things are as optimized as they can be. But yeah, this is probably a listing I need to have a look at. It's not driving the views I would like it to drive, so I would probably want to go into the Keyword Explorer and Keyword Tools and find better keywords. I've got no attributes, so it's telling me I could do with adding some. It's in the categories. Description, it's saying it might be a little bit long, but yeah, it covers everything you needs to say. My pictures, again, I've only got 5, but that's not a big deal. My processing time, it warns us here, I have a long processing time which might influence buyers' decisions, but this may be okay for customized items. So you go, we've got a warning, but you can't correct all warnings. Even if I was trying to make this listing better, well, it can't get better, it's an A grade, but if you were wanting to improve it, don't worry if there's a reason why your processing time is long. And here's my Etsy preview. It's showing custom needle felted dog, tells you what it is, and here's what the Google preview looks like. So there's the difference. You can see that how this page shows things really depends on what you're doing wrong in the listing. But I want to repeat again, the grades are nice, they're helpful, they're showing you best practices, but they're not showing you if you're going to be making sales. As you can see, an A grade has no sales and a D grade has 72 sales. So don't get hung up. This is a nice tool. It's one I look at every now and again to see everything all in one place and maybe to tweak things. It's super handy to be able to tweak things, but don't get hung up on getting A grades. An A grade's not going to get you to sell. It's just going to help your mindset. But make sure, far more importantly, that you're finding good keywords, you're finding out where you're ranking for these keywords, you're using your statistics to find out if you're bringing traffic from any keywords, and then you can tweak and make your listing better. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.